Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get.
Now, next point he has from the book, which I just love, the book Guerrilla Marketing. It's powerful, but it says, marketing is every bit of contact your company has with anyone in the outside world. Marketing is every bit of contact your company has with anyone in the outside world. Anyone who doesn't work for your company in the outside world. Every bit of contact. That means a lot of marketing opportunities. It does not mean investing a lot of money. Again, so he says it's every bit of contact your company has with anyone in the outside world. Every bit of contact. That means a lot of marketing opportunities every day, not necessarily a lot of money. Specifically, what are some ways that you market Chick-fil-A when you're around town? If you're at, if you're at church and you're meeting a guy by the coffee and you're talking to him, or if you're out at a restaurant, or how do you market your business all the time?
Well, I mean, first, sometimes I'll ask them, have you ever had Chick-fil-A before? And anytime I have a new product, I always have, coupons and stuff on. I'm not going to give you another one because I gave you like 10 already.
I'm bogarting them. Can I change the expiration date on these?
Yes, you can, but we'll take it anyway because that's how awesome we are. So we'll give them a free sandwich card similar to this. That may,
that's my third one.
He's stockpiling them. But how do we make sure that they know? We invite them to come eat with us. And even though we may not be making a whole lot of money on it, it's an opportunity for them to come see our restaurant and get to know our people. And then, of course, we can change their attitudes and make them realize how awesome we are.
I know for my DJ company, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. And I would run into people at, I went to every chamber event, every Rotary event, any event where I could network, I was there. And I went to the breakfast network meeting. And I remember I would be sitting next to someone and they would say, well, tell us what you do and where you're from and give us your commercial. And I'm like, oh man, I get nervous for some reason. There's like 8 people at a table and I'm like, oh man, they're gonna call on me soon. And then right away they call on you first. And I was like, my name's Clay, I have a DJ company and we're really good. And they're like, thank you, Clay. And I was like, oh, good, yeah. And I would never get any business. Well, I ended up talking to my mom, and my mom, did advertising, and she said, you got to tell people what you do differently, and you got to make them an offer. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I had like a marketing budget of like, we were living in an apartment without air conditioning, so it was rough. So I went to the next one. I go, say your name, and I'm like, I got this. My name's Clay Clark. I own a DJ company, and I'm just kind of wiggling all over the place. Here's the deal. If anybody here has a birthday party or a wedding, anything at all, I will DJ for you for free. And then if you like it, you can pay me $200. One guy's like, my name's Gary. My daughter's getting married to Cedar Ridge. Can you do that? I'm like, yes, Gary. I was so excited, I almost pounced on him. Well, I started realizing that's the move. Everybody knows someone getting married. So you said, have you had our chicken before?
Yeah.
That's your question, right?
How many of you guys have never had Chick-fil-A before?
And I started asking, so do you know of anyone getting married or having a birthday? Have you ever had a birthday? Do you have a birthday?
I do.
And then they would be like,
Every
yeah,
year.
I do. And then I would offer, and that's just what I would do, though. I got to a point where I started asking people, have you ever had a birthday? Yeah, awesome. Hey, you want to take it to the next level? Here's the deal. If you have a birthday or know someone having a birthday, I will. And I literally, without any money, I started booking, I don't know, probably 40 or 50 events a year that way, just networking. So it's something you can do. Now, if I'm an entrepreneur, though, on a really tight budget, and we're going to switch it. Let's say that I have a donut shop.
Okay.
Now, I only say this because I know of a business in town that has a donut shop, and I'm going to show you where their donut shop is, okay? In Tulsa, we have an intersection right by my house, and then there's like this dry cleaner over here. The dry cleaner's here, okay? And then over here is like a gas station right up in here. And then somehow back here there's like this other shopping center, and then here's the main roads. And they somehow have secured the space that is here.
Oh, jeez.
Now there's other businesses here, and I think there's like trees and stuff that are here, but the point is you don't know that they're right here and it's a donut shop. I mean, you couldn't see them from the road if you wanted to, because there's something else here, by the way. There's like a building right here, so it's like impossible. Now, I go in there and it is sad. It's sad times. I go in there, it's like end times. I sometimes buy from them because it's like out of pity. I'll go in there and I'm like, hey kids, you guys want to go get some donuts and chocolate milk from the place? You know, you go in there and there's nobody in there. And I'm thinking, how is this open? How is this place around? Well, there's a tailor over here too. He does custom tailored suits and stuff. He also has no customers. So let's get real for a second. If you're the tailor or the donut person, what can I do to market the heck out of my business to get some people to drive over to me even though I'm hidden from the earth? What can I do to market the heck out of my business to get some people to drive over to me even though I'm hidden from the earth?
Well, first of all, I'd really be seriously wondering why I'm still there.
I mean, maybe they got a great deal. Maybe that's one of those deals where they got something that was cheap.
You got it free.
And it cost them money.
Yeah. Well, first of all, for me, okay, so let's talk donut shop.
Donut shop, here we go.
Donuts are awesome.
Yep.
Okay. And if they have a great quality donuts, they're probably throwing a bunch away.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see, the most donut shops go until what, 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my guess. So if you know you're going to throw some away, I would at about 11, probably about 10:30. I'd be standing out by the road occasionally, randomly, with a big sign that says free donuts.
And you would just set out a big sign?
I put a big sign out there and put somebody with it and just, hold it out, free donuts. Or I'd throw on my cars. Okay, maybe I won't do that.
Would you have a guy that's like wearing a suit maybe, crazy suit,
Yeah, you know what? If you're doing something like that, people are looking for visual noise, so it could be a pink Guerrilla outfit, which actually I do own, but it could be, it doesn't need to be a donut suit.
I think of a story. There was a place, it wasn't a donut shop, but it actually was in Austin. And I was walking down the road in this busy area, and these two guys were doing some, they had these live concerts. They're trying to get people in. And there's two guys, you could tell they were trying to promote a concert. And in Austin, there's a lot of people downtown. But these guys were on top of their building, and one guy's going, concert! And the other guy's going, tonight! And the other guy's like, concert! And everyone's like, tonight! And they just kept doing this. And we're like, what in the world? Because you don't know where they're at. And you look up, and they've got this like outdoor, restaurant on top of on top where they got the food and stuff. And I thought, man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And they had a ridiculous sign. I'm sure they stole the idea from Jimmy John's, but it said free smells.
Yeah.
They're just like, what? But they're concert tonight, and it got attention.
Yeah. So, well, it's kind of like the purple cow.
Yeah.
It's making it remarkable. A friend of mine, Danny Cahill, won The Biggest Loser.
He won The Biggest Loser competition.
Biggest Loser.
Real quick, how big was he when he started?
426 pounds.
How big was he when he lost, or when he won, I mean?
Right under 200.
So he went from 450 to under 200?
Yeah. But he had to sell himself.
Yeah.
And so at the
To sell a lot of himself.
he had a lot to sell.
Okay.
And he's a really good friend of mine. So he was.
Sorry, Danny.
He had to go to this interview in Oklahoma City, and he was constantly thinking, "How do I stand out amongst all these other guys that are sitting there?" And so, and Danny just didn't know what to do. And they get around and they're going around the circle and saying, "Why should you be on The Biggest Loser?" And they're saying things like, "Because I want to change my life. Because I want to be there for my kids." And Danny's like, "Man, this isn't going to work. What am I going to do?" And so Danny goes, "I got nothing to lose." And he stands up and goes, "I want to be in The Biggest Loser." And he starts telling all the reasons why I want to do this, I want to do this. And he finishes with, "And I'm tired of being on bottom, and I want to be on top for a change."
For anybody watching this who's maybe not familiar with that analogy, that was a metaphysical analogy, and I don't quite understand what he meant by that. So we're gonna just move on there. But
But they remembered him.
They remembered him, and
he got on the show.
Yeah, and he started from the top, and I went to the bottom, or bottom to the top.
Bottom to the top.
Okay, all right, man, woo. Yes, the air conditioning is working well tonight. Okay, folks. So moving on to the next principle here. Most people, this is what J. Conrad Levinson says. He says, most people have one-way brains. They acquire information and they do nothing. Now, guerrilla marketers have two brains. They obtain relevant information and they quickly act on it.
That's right.
So let's get into this. Arthur, you're a big man of action. You take action. Sometimes people would say you take the wrong action. Sometimes people say you take action that was wrong and then you had to change it over time.
Yep.
But every entrepreneur that I've ever met, they seem to have this system here where they basically go out there and they define what they want to do. They kind of have an idea. They act upon it, right? Then they go out there and they measure what they're doing, and then they refine. But the big thing is they define what they want to do, then they actually do something. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs watching this don't do things.
I think that's a huge issue right there, people acting on it.
Here's the deal. I met a guy who was in the West Coast, and he had a retail store. He was in the family for years. And when he took over the retail store from his family, he was ill-equipped to do so. He'd never run a business before, but he found himself in charge. And it was very interesting because he would never implement ideas. He had ideas, awesome ideas, every day. Hey, we should do this. Hey, we should do that. Oh my gosh, here's a great idea. But he would never do it. So I want to ask you, as a man of action, how have you developed the skill of taking action over the years? I mean, where does that come from?
Well, I know what the results are, and I know that if you're not a person of action, nothing will happen. And so I've met a lot of people that kind of have that same mindset. They have all these great ideas, but they don't do anything.
Yeah,
and then they spend a lot of time sitting around complaining.
You know me well enough to know that I get almost frustrated with ideas because I know that as a general rule, like if it's you, you do it. You act on it. But a lot of people love ideas. It's almost like, the new car. You buy a new car because you get that new car smell. You buy a new house because it's the new house smell. Some people get new girlfriends, new husbands, whatever. But the point is, you shouldn't do that. But people do. They like new stuff. Let's just get new shoes, new clothes. It's always exciting when it's new. But yet we really need to act. It's not the new idea. It's just doing it, right?
Right. It is.
Because you built the world's largest tea.
Yep.
World's largest snow cone.
Almost.
World's largest iced tea.
Yep.
So tea, lemonade.
Made a giant milkshake before.
Giant milkshake. But you at some point had to just do it.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about it. I want to get into your mind here. So you're talking with your staff about building the world's largest snow cone.
Right.
Do you remember that meeting?
I do.
How did that happen? How did that happen?
So it happened fast because we had a bunch of snow coming.
Huge snow coming in.
We had a huge snow coming in, and we were tired of being down in sales.
Yeah.
And for Oklahoma, it was a huge ordeal. And so we got together.
Sales were going down because there was a lot of bad weather.
Yeah, the roads kept getting shut down. Nobody could move around, and we said there's going to be another burst of snow coming through. And so we said we got to do something different. And because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And I said, we're not getting results. Actually, we're getting the same results as everybody else. So what are we going to do differently? Let's make a reason for them to come out.
Getting pumped.
And so we decided to make the world's largest snow cone.
Yeah.
So I called a friend of mine, a guy named Josh, has Josh's Snow Shack here in Tulsa.
Real quick, Josh's Snow Shack, not exaggerating, in Tulsa that's almost tourism. There's a huge line in front of his business now. This is a crazy kid who started a snow cone shack. You got to Google this mess. Back to you.
Yep. And I called him up, said, "What do you think?" And of course, he's like me. He said, "Let's do it." So probably within an hour conversation, that's one of the big things when I'm having meetings and brainstorming session. It's pause a meeting, make the phone call.
Oh man,
let's get things rolling because
right now.
once the ball starts rolling, sometimes it's hard to stop it. Versus the person who never pushes the ball down the hill. Yeah. Now the bad part is kind of like a train is when it does derail, it derails hard. But you learn from those mistakes and you get back up and you can do it again.
But you want to take action right away.
Absolutely.
One of the things that Napoleon Hill says, my favorite success author, I'm always quoting this guy, but he said that knowledge without application is meaningless. He says that. But he says that action is the real measure of intelligence. That's this big quote. Action is the real measure of intelligence. So he's going to measure it. How intelligent are you? Do you act on it?
That's right.
And you do that. Now, what if I'm an entrepreneur and I'm watching this and I'm fearful? How do I act in spite of fear? How do you act in spite of fear?
Well, first of all, I know I'm in the right position when I'm nervous. And now that I have a bunch of these things behind me, I don't get nervous about small things. I mean, other people just wig out about the things I want to do. When we're working on a project right now with a young man trying to raise $250,000, and
Love
that made me nervous.
Yeah.
But it's one of those that courage is not having fear; it's moving forward in the face of fear.
Courage is moving forward in the face of fear.
Yeah.
Okay. But you want to be a little nervous, though.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like when I'm nervous, I know that I'm heading in the right direction.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people that'll bail from that. And so how do we move forward?
I want to say this. With Thrive, when we were building the Thrive platform, you were our second venture capital investor.
Yeah.
And I'm forever grateful. But I remember that we had a young guy. I say young guy. He's a little younger than you, but older than me. But his name's Braxton Fierce. And Braxton was like, well, who's put in money? Who's put in the money? And I said, well, me. It's me. And then myself and I. Like the four of us, we've all put in money. And he says, well, who else? And I said, well, Arthur's going to do it. He's like, has he done it yet? And I said, well, I'm going to give him the paperwork, but he'll do it. And he's like, all right, I'll do it. So he put in money. He put $100,000 into this business. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, you already were going to do it, whether he was going to do it or not. But then you did it. Well, then a third guy who I'd never heard of before, all of a sudden is like, well, who put in money? I said, these two guys. Well, those two guys, then I'll do it. And then boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Well, I'm telling you this, when you grow a big company like this, there's a ton of video people, there's a ton of people on the set, tons of lights, cameras, equipment. It's expensive. Mm-hmm. But once I get a little nervous, I'm like, we're going to raise $3 million. That's what we need. I mean, we're going to get David Robinson on our team. We're going to get world-class PR. We're going to have the best set, the best equipment, the best mentors. It's going to be awesome. The website's going to be great. And we're going to give away a ton of money to the winner. And I thought, what if we gave away 20 grand to the winner? That makes me nervous. Growing up poor, I mean, 20 grand is 20 grand. I mean,
it's 20 grand.
So, but I know when you get nervous, that's where it happens.
That's right.
So if you're not nervous right now, you're what? You're not.
You'll be average.
You'll be average. I'm telling you, Michael Jordan, NBA Hall of Famer. I guarantee he was nervous sometimes shooting free throws. Mm-hmm. The best ballet dancers in the world, I guarantee they're a little nervous before opening night. The best singers, I guarantee when they go out on the stage, they're a little bit nervous. And again, this sort of thing we don't want to wait till we're late in life to start. We've got to do it. And if we are late in life start, when you're watching this right now, go for it, man. Worst case scenario, you die, right?
Or you fail and you didn't achieve anything anyway. So you're right where you started.
Yeah. But I mean, they never have like Abraham Lincoln. They're not like, here was a guy who played it safe. He never took risks, and therefore we built a big statue. You never see anybody who has a big statue built at the graveyard, anybody we still read about in history books, was a risk taker. They were a game changer. They were a momentum maker. They took action, right?
Yep.
Now, a question I'd have here for you is, if I'm watching this, and I've always been slow to action, okay? And right now I'm watching this, and I have this big idea right now. Right now, I just had this idea. What would you tell me to do?
In my mind, I would say share it with as many people as you can. I mean, it doesn't sound hard, especially on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I do that all the time. I can say, hey, I'm going to do this, and I put it on Facebook, and I got 30 comments of, you are not going to do that, or, you better not do that, or, all right, I'm in, let me help you.
I have a lady that I know who she's wanting to write a book, and when she told her family about the book, they were like, you can't write that. That's like a forbidden fruit. You can't say that. You know what I mean? And so for her, she shared it with people, but it kind of, and I'm just playing devil's advocate for the person who's watching this who maybe has a negative family, or, maybe their Facebook friends are like, boo. Well, she told people, and then she kind of got a lot of pushback.
Right.
Is it important for you to act in spite of pushback?
Oh, absolutely, if you're passionate about something.
Okay.
Now, there's also a value in that of looking and saying, what might be the pitfalls? When people have other perspectives, you may not have seen the pitfalls. So what I do is when I say, hey, I want to do this, so I want to make this giant snow cone on a snow day. There was some pushback from people going, you can't do that.
Can't do it.
You're causing people to be getting out in unsafe conditions.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I learned certain things like when you're advertising, you're saying, if you feel comfortable driving the road, in a four-wheel drive, come out and see us, or whatever it may be.
I drive a Hummer, and no matter what the weather is, I will be there.
And I expect to see you there.
That's right. Now, here's the next final question. Final quote from our main man here from his book, Guerrilla Marketing. When you view marketing from the vantage point of the guerrilla, you realize that it's important, that it's your opportunity to help your prospects and customers succeed. They want to succeed at earning more money, building their company, losing weight, attracting a mate, becoming more fit, or quitting smoking. You can help them. You can show them how they can achieve their goal. Marketing isn't about you, it's about them. I hope you never forget that. And what he's saying is like, basically that you're trying to help other people with your product.
Right.
Do you honestly believe that selling chicken to somebody is helping them?
I do.
Really?
When my team members work for me, one of the things I talked about is a lot of times you might get some pushback from what we call suggestive selling. Okay. So, for example, we do require people to suggest to sell. And a young person may be like, well, we're just pushing something on them. Well,
what does suggestive selling mean if I don't know what that term is?
What suggestive selling may be is, like if you order a combo meal at Chick-fil-A, we may turn around and say, would you like a cookies and cream milkshake with that?
Ooh. And then they say, sure.
Well, and your response right there is exactly it. People may not know that we have a cookies and cream milkshake.
My wife will do this every time. Every time someone asks.
I'm writing it down. She's come to Chick-fil-A.
We went to, I swear this is not, I can't make this story up. We were at Starbucks. I was not there, my kids were there. My daughter goes, Mom got sold. Like that's what my daughter said. So we're at Starbucks, their kids are at Starbucks, the 5 kids with Mom, and the guy says, would you like an extra yada yada to go home with you today? Like she bought a drink, and he's like, would you like a bag of freshly ground? We don't even like have a machine that can process freshly ground. And she was like, why would, he said, would you like to try a bag of freshly ground? And then she says, yeah, I think I would. He's like, okay. He rings her up, and my daughter's like, oh, Mom, you got sold. So Havana's telling me, she's like 8 at the time. She's like, Dad, Mom bought a bag of coffee today. But it's interesting when you ask people if they want to go ahead and,
right.
Well, what, half of them say yes, or a tenth of them? I mean, somebody says yes.
Yeah, we get a good turnaround on people that say yes. Probably about 30 to 40% will say yes.
That's amazing. 30 to 40% of people didn't want a milkshake.
Well, maybe they didn't want it. They didn't know we had it. But I think that that's important for businesses. Not everybody knows every product that you have. You may have something that could benefit them. I know that a lot of times when we get visits from the corporate office with Chick-fil-A, they will come up and they'll order food because they want to taste our food, make sure it's consistent.
Yeah.
And so I've trained my people that when a corporate office person comes up, they always buy it if you suggest it. So when they'll come up and order a meal, and I've trained my people to suggest to sell a party tray to them, and ask them if they would like a $50 party tray to go with their order. And of course, as soon as that happens, they know what I set them up for.
I like to use a little humor with it too. I know we used to sell products to brides and grooms, and I would say, now for your wedding, were you guys going to need? They were purchasing a wedding DJ to entertain for their wedding, and I would say, well, while you're here, do you still need a limo for the big day? And they're like, well, yeah, we do. And I'm like, well, we don't have that, but I can recommend somebody for you. I recommend them. And now, would you guys also like a chocolate fountain? Yeah, I would. Okay, well, let me recommend somebody. I'm going through the checklist, and I've said, would you like uplighting to make the room beautiful? Yeah, I would. Would you like a jetpack for the groom to come up? And I would just ask these random questions. Chocolate fountains, jetpacks, uplighting, and I would get brides and grooms. It was a conversation. Well, at the end of it, these brides who were going to spend $600 on their package ended up spending $1,200 and buying services from us, just like you said, that they didn't know we even had.
Right.
So it's a huge deal. So it's big to do that. Arthur, do you, though, ever get worried that you're going to offend people with your shameless and consistent marketing? Shameless.
No.
Do people get offended? I mean, you talked about the weather guy. He's like, people, it's unsafe. It's unsafe to have a snow cone in cold weather.
Yeah, I don't think people get offended.
You should wear a helmet when you ride your bike.
But you know what? Zig Ziglar one time, I did a survey, and I'm going to butcher the numbers here.
Yeah.
But he said he was doing this to a bunch of guys that were salesmen, and he said, hold up the number 3. And so a bunch of people went like this, okay, and it was like 92% of them, or maybe 80% of them.
Yeah.
And then some others did
like the West Side Connection.
They did this.
They
did this. So like 17% did this. And he said only 3% did this. And they said, so make sure that when you're selling, you're not selling to these guys, you're selling to these guys.
The point being that you want to sell to the majority.
That's right.
Okay. And I think that's huge for us to, and I want to ask you this though, because as we're really diving into this guerrilla marketing and wrapping this up here, if I'm struggling because I'm worrying about what other people think, I'm probably 90% of America's entrepreneurs.
That's correct.
I remember talking to a dentist a while back. This was, he was out in California. And he says, what do you think I should do? I met him on a plane. And I said, I think you should take pictures of people's after photos, not before, they're after photos of beautiful smiles, put them on the wall of people that have beautiful smiles. And he's like, I said, have you ever worked with a celebrity? He's like, yeah, I have 3. 3 celebrities. Well, maybe 4 or 5, I guess I got quite a few. Well, put them on the wall. And he says, well, what if they're offended? And I said, I'm just saying if I'm a mom and I'm bringing in my 4 or 5 kids in there and I sit down and there's a celebrity who I've seen on TV smiling and it says, happy customer, I'm more likely to do business with you. I'm more likely to ask about your veneers because I know all celebrities have great teeth. And he says, well, a lot of people don't even know what veneers are. You know, veneers is where you have your teeth done to look artificially awesome. And I said, what percentage of the celebrities that you've worked with have veneers? He said, oh, every celebrity has veneers. I don't know anybody on TV that doesn't have veneers. They all have veneers. And I said, do you ask people? And he said, I just don't offend people with that. Well, eventually he ended up putting them up there and he's had some really nice success with it, but it was just putting the pictures up.
That's right.
But he had that fear. For like 20 years he was afraid to do it. Sometimes don't we have to irritate somebody?
Absolutely.
If we're going to make most people happy?
Now, we don't have to make them mad. I mean, we're not in this to make them mad. But you know what? We can't be worrying about what they're going to think.
Somebody doesn't like that Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday, though.
Oh, I'm sure there
Somebody
is.
doesn't like that Chick-fil-A has certain stances on certain things. Someone doesn't like that Chick-fil-A has that you guys are eating animals.
Yep.
I mean, you can't eat animals.
That's right.
You're a bad guy eating all those animals. You know? But if you came up with the perfect restaurant that would be like a place where you wouldn't eat animals, but you wouldn't eat plants either, you probably wouldn't serve much, right? I mean, so you got to offend somebody at some point.
Plastic bags.
You could eat plastic bags. So now let me ask you this. The final question here is, if I'm watching this and I'm on a very, very tight budget and I really, really want to grow my business through guerrilla marketing, what are some things that I can go out there to do to let my community know? What's maybe just a final couple ideas of something that I can go out there and do to tell my community? Let's say I own a hair salon.
Okay.
What are some things I can do right now with very little money to get out there and to market and to show people how I can offer value?
Well, for starters, do they know your business is even there? Let's start with that. Mm-hmm. How hard would it be to, here in town, I actually saw a hair cutting place that had this giant tube of hair gel dancing around in front of their business.
So you could go with the giant tube of hair gel, kind of, see here, sort of
That's exactly what it looked like.
dancing around.
More like a little Debbie snack cake.
He's dancing around this giant tube. You know, he's having to go. Hey, don't you judge my drawing, Arthur. It's effective and it's efficient. Chicks like it.
Ta-da!
Okay, so you have the dancing thing.
Now, on that note, there was a company one time that was here in town, and they had a sub shop, and they had this guy rocking it out right outside the restaurant, and he would stand out there and he would have his earphones in and he would be dancing and stuff. They told me, one of their owners shared with me one time, that their business drops 15% when that person is not outside.
Oh, wow. So you have the dancing going on there?
Yeah.
One thing I know I saw one company do, and I actually have worked with companies that do this, but they just said free haircuts for everybody. Just like, come on in, it's free, and if you don't like it, don't come back. But if you do, we'd love to,
Well, if you're slow, and if you're that slow anyway.
And you guys do free sandwiches sometimes.
Sometimes.
Right? So you could do the freemium model where you just have, and I guess examples of companies that do freemium is what we call it, where you try it free. Gmail, Dropbox. Dropbox is free, but if you want premium services, you pay.
Right.
Google's free, but yet they sell ads. They make their money that way. And so there's ways you can do that. I mean, I know the haircut place, it's free haircut the first time you come in, and if you like it, they charge you next time. Mm-hmm. The sandwich, free, one sandwich, but anything else you can think of? If I really have no money on a hair salon, got the giant toothpaste thing, or the hair gel, I mean?
Well, again, are all your friends using your services? Can you get on the phone and give them a call and say, hey, next time you need a haircut, please come by. It's on me. Or if you want some PR off it, you could go to some of the schools that maybe lower income schools and say, I'll cut all their hair on this day as a thank you to the school.
So you can do donations. So you have a whole bunch of things. I mean, this is just off the top of your head. But the point is, you have to work with what you have, right? I mean, you have to use the tools you have. Sometimes that's not much. You don't have a lot of tools, but you have. If you can talk on the phone, if you can offer a free service, you can have a dancing dude in front of your business. You can do this stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Arthur, you have a book that you have written called Dysfunctional
Inspiration.
Dysfunctional Inspiration. It's got kind of a purple cover. Yeah. We have a few copies here, and I want to pull them out here.
Yes, I strategically put them there.
Well, and there we go. Now, this book, I read this in one night, and there was 2 parts in it that I almost shed a man tear for my main man Arthur. But you have come from your mother, was an alcoholic.
Yep.
Your father kind of disappeared on you when you were 13 through high school. You've had scoliosis. You started with nothing, and I know we've been talking the entire time about marketing, but you've had a lot of success.
Yes.
And I know that if you can do it, anybody can.
Absolutely.
But could you maybe talk to the guy on the other end of that camera who maybe says, gosh, I don't know where I could start. You want to give him some encouragement. Anything final kind of parting note?
Well, when it comes to marketing, there's so many great tools out there. And a lot of them I don't even know about. Literally, go find a business like yours and go in there and visit and watch and see what they do right. If you don't have a mentor in your life, find a mentor. But for me, I looked at those people and said, I want to be like this person. And so I went out and reached out to them and said, hey, can I hang out with you? And I started learning things from them. And it's amazing how just asking will really open up those doors.
Arthur, I appreciate you more than you know for coming out here tonight. And I want to again just tell you thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old, but I've never had the 2-time Heisman Award winning Tim Tebow come present. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Also, this is the first Thrive Time Show event that we've had where we're going to have a man who has built a $100 million net worth.
Wow.
Who'll be presenting. Now, we've had a couple presenters that have had $1 billion net worth in some like real estate sort of things.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've had a guy who's built a service business, and he's built over $100 million net worth in the service business. It's the yacht driving, multi-state living guru of franchising. Peter Taunton will be in the house. This is the founder of Snap Fitness, the guy behind 9 Round Boxing. He's going to be here in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. JT, why should everybody want to hear what Peter Taunton has to say?
Oh, because he's incredible. He's just a fountain of knowledge. He is awesome. He has inspired me listening to him talk. And not only that, he also has, he practices what he teaches. So he's a real teacher. He's not a fake teacher like business school teachers. So you got to come learn from him.
Also, let me tell you this, folks. I don't want to get this wrong because if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you screwed that up, buddy. So Michael Levine, this is Michael Levine. He's going to be coming. You say, who's Michael Levine? I don't want to get this wrong. This is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Prince, for Nike, for Charlton Heston, for Nancy Kerrigan, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestselling authors he's represented, including pretty much everybody you know who's been a super celebrity. This is Michael Levine, a good friend of mine. He's going to come and talk to you about personal branding and the mindset needed to be super successful. The lineup will continue to grow. We have hit Christian recording artist Colton Dixon in the house. Now, people say, Colton Dixon's in the house? Yes, Colton Dixon's in the house. So if you like top 40 Christian music, Colton Dixon's going to be in the house performing. The lineup will continue to grow each and every day. We're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup. But I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, when's it going to be? June 27th and 28th. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And so it says Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrive Time Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. So when? June 27th and 28th. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
James, did I tell you my good friend John Lee Dumas is also joining us at the in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? That Tim Tebow and that Michael Levine will be at. Have I told you this?
You have not told me that.
Oh, he's coming all the way from Puerto Rico. This is John Lee Dumas, the host of the chart-topping eofire.com podcast. He's absolutely a living legend. This guy started a podcast after wrapping up his service in the United States military, and he started recording this podcast daily in his home, to the point where he started interviewing big-time folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Tony Robbins, and he just kept interviewing bigger and bigger names, putting out shows day after day. And now he is the legendary host of the EO Fire podcast, and he's traveling all the way from Puerto Rico to Tulsa, Oklahoma to attend the in-person June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop. If you're out there today, folks, you've ever wanted to grow a podcast, a broadcast, you want to improve your marketing, if you've ever wanted to improve your marketing, your branding, if you've ever wanted to increase your sales, you want to come to the 2-day interactive June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show Business Workshop featuring Tim Tebow, Michael Levine, John Lee Dumas, and countless big-time, super successful entrepreneurs. It's going to be life-changing. Get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. James, what website is that?
thrivetimeshow.com.
James, one more time with more enthusiasm.
thrivetimeshow.com.
Shine, everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. I'm not to be played with because it could get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment, we own it.
Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, but I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you. And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne
who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, "Have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad?" And I said, "No." And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed, to the business owner, to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you, thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you, thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, "I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this."
I learned at the academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa! Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business. And I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I'm not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
Once I saw what they were doing, I knew I had to get here at the conference. This is probably the best conference or seminar I've ever been to in over 30 years in business.
You're not bored. You're awake, alive the whole time. It's not pushy. They don't try to sell you a bunch of things.
I was looking to learn how to just get control of my life, my schedule, and just get control of the business.
Planning your time, breaking it all down, making time for the F6 in your life, and just really implementing it and sticking with the program.
It's really lively. They're pretty friendly, helpful, very welcoming.
I attended a conference a couple months back, and it was really the best business conference I've ever attended.
At the workshop, I learned a lot about time management, really prioritizing what's the most important.
Biggest takeaways are, you want to take a step-by-step approach to your business. Whether it's marketing, what are those 3 marketing tools that you want to use, to human resources.
Some of the most successful people and successful businesses in this town, their owners were here today because they wanted to know more from Clay, and I found that to be kind of fascinating.
The most valuable thing that I've learned is diligence, that businesses don't change overnight. It takes time and effort, and you got to go through the ups and downs of getting it to where you want to go.
He actually gives you the roadmap out. I was stuck, didn't know what to do, and he gave me the roadmap out step by step.
We've set up systems in the business that make my life much easier, allow me some time freedom.
Here you can ask any question you want. They guarantee it'll be answered.
This conference motivates me and also give me a lot of knowledge and tools.
It's up to you to do it. Everybody can do these things. There's stuff that everybody knows, but if you don't do it, nobody else can do it for you.
I can see the marketing working, and it's just an approach that makes sense.
Probably the most notable thing is just the income increase that we've had.
Everyone's super fun, it's super motivating. I've been here before, but I'm back again because it motivates me.
Your competition's going to come eventually, or try to pick up these tactics. So you better, if you don't, somebody else will.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live 2 years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
If you decide to not attend the Thrive Time workshop, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
The atmosphere of Clay's office is very lively. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, and it really got me and my team very excited.
If you decide not to come, you're missing out on an opportunity to grow your business. Bottom line.
Love the environment. I love the way that Clay presents and teaches. It's a way that not only allows me to comprehend what's going on, but he explains it in a way to where it just makes sense.
The SEO optimization, branding, marketing. I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have the entire 4 years of college.
The most valuable thing that I've learned, marketing is key. Marketing is everything.
Making sure that you're branded accurately and clearly. How to grow a business using Google reviews, and then just how to optimize our name through our website also.
Helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google.
The biggest thing I needed to learn was how to build my foundation, how to systemize everything and optimize everything, build my SEO.
How to become more organized, more efficient.
How to make sure the business is really there to serve me as opposed to me constantly being there for the business.
New ways of advertising my business as well as recruiting new employees.
Group interviews, number one. Before we felt like we were held hostage by our employees. Group interviews has completely eliminated that because you're able to really find the people that would really be the best fit.
Hands-on how to hire people, how to deal with human resources, a lot about marketing, and overall just how to structure the business, how it works for me, and also then how that can translate into working better for my clients.
The most valuable thing I've learned here is time management.
I like the 1 hour of doing your business is real critical if I'm going to grow and change.
Clay really teaches you how to navigate through those things and not only find freedom, but find your purpose in your business and find the purposes for all those other people that directly affect your business as well.
Everybody.
Everyone needs to attend the conference because you get an opportunity to see that it's real.